We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
You have fun. Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you.
Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at belisiofoods.com/careers.
Rise and shine, and don't forget your booties, because it's cold out there today.
It's cold out there every day. What is this, Miami Beach?
Not hardly. And, you know, you can expect hazardous travel later today with that, that blizzard thing.
Oh, that blizzard thing. That blizzard thing. Oh, well, here's the report. The National Weather Service is calling for a big blizzard thing.
Yes, they are. But, you know, there's another reason why today is especially exciting.
Especially cold.
Especially cold, okay. But the big question on everybody's lips.
Yeah, their chapped lips.
On their chapped lips,
Chapped
right.
lips.
Do you think Phil's gonna come out and see his shadow?
Punxsutawney Phil.
That's right, WoodChuck Chuckers. It's Groundhog Day! Get up and check that hog out there!
Yeah! Come here, Groundhog.
Out there.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. It is
Groundhog Day. Was that loud enough, Dylan?
Yeah, that was pretty
Did
loud.
we just blow up the board, Dylan?
No, you're good.
He's like, oh, now I'm awake.
Yep. Hey, guess what, everybody?
I'm sorry, I'm back.
She's back. Finally.
I hate to tell y'all, I'm back.
Ugh.
Did you miss me?
I mean, that's one way you could put it, yes.
Did you cuss me?
That's another way you could put it.
Did you cry?
I did not. I was not moved to tears.
Out of anger?
I may have shook my fist at the heavens.
Damn
you, Jennifer! Stick me here for freaking 10 days.
In the cold.
In the cold. It has been cold.
So, it's almost like not right. So you go on like a vacation, right? And so we went somewhere very warm, which was fantastic. Sunshine, whatever.
Rub it in.
And then I am. And then we get home, drive from Cincinnati to Jackson, get to Jackson at 8 at night, get up at 7 in the morning and drive to Cleveland. So we were home for less than 12 hours.
You went from the
Then had to
Bahamas
drive
to Cleveland?
Mexico, Grand Cayman. Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah.
Cleveland rocks. Cleveland.
I was trying to get myself pumped up, driving into Cleveland.
Yeah.
By
oh, I can't do it.
Oh, yeah. So, I should have sent you guys pictures. So, funny story.
Happy to see the horse queen back.
Thanks, Rick. I don't wear my crown.
Looks more like horse
It
ears.
looks like antlers, doesn't it?
Yeah. Bullwinkle.
So our guest over there doesn't know about the horse queen, so we'll have to explain to him.
I also
Cedric.
don't know about the horse queen.
What? Dylan doesn't know about the horse
Dylan's
queen?
been
I've
here
heard
for
the name for a long, long time. I'm always just like, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
we haven't even explained it to you.
Jennifer was the 1990 horse queen.
At the Jackson County Fair.
County Fair.
Oh, okay. That
and
makes
I'm
sense.
still living vicariously through that. Because it was, my claim to fame.
She had a cowboy hat with a crown on it.
I did. I had to find pictures and bring that in too.
You should.
Yeah, with the crown. Because everybody has a cowboy hat with a crown.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, wanted to give a shout out to my girl Tasha. Love you so much. Former staff member, working at Burger King now. And I was like, who is this pleasant person when I went through the drive-thru? Because we got home and didn't have any coffee, right? And I'm like, this is the most pleasant drive-thru person ever. And I pulled up and there was Tasha. And I was like, hey, Yay! So yeah, Tasha will hook you up in the Burger King drive-thru. She is the most pleasant person ever. So she's a sweetie.
Shout out to Tasha.
Tasha, thank you.
When I go through Burger King drive-thru, they just demand that I buy an extra cookie for 99 cents.
No, it's 2 cookies for 99 cents.
my
Get it
bad.
right, James.
My bad.
In fact, I turned it down and then turned the corner and thought I should have bought those 2 cookies just as a
Peace offering.
peace offering to you.
Well,
Hey, I gave you my
you
hash
did give me
browns.
hash brown. I would rather have hash browns than Burger King chocolate chip cookies
Here,
any day.
James, I'm sorry I've been gone for
Yeah.
2 weeks. Here's some hash browns to make it up to you.
I mean, to be honest, it's kind of working. You're buttering me up a little bit. Just don't do it again.
Right. So yeah, so I forgot to send you guys the pictures. So Jamie was in meetings all day the first day that we were in Cleveland. Well, not all day, but like till like 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I can either sit in the hotel room or I can go do something.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what do you do in Cleveland when you're, that your spouse would never want to do? You go see a Christmas Story house.
Oh, nice.
So I went all by myself like a turd.
Yeah.
And it was so cute. Oh my
bet.
God. But I had no idea that this thing is the gigantic production in which it is.
Uh-huh.
So basically they've bought up like half the city block now.
Oh, wow.
But the weird thing is the Christmas Story house is in a residential neighborhood. So
Sure.
the poor people that live around there, I can't even imagine at Christmas
yeah.
time. Like I was there.
The traffic and everything, yeah.
Yeah, I was there at 1 on, I can't remember what day. I don't even know what day this is.
This would be Thursday, right?
Tuesday, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 o'clock on a Tuesday, just rando, and there were 7 people in my tour group. I'm like, at $18 a piece.
Oof.
So, but it's really cool. So, dude loved the movie. House went up for sale on eBay years ago, like back in early 2000s.
Right.
So it was getting bid on. So he literally sends them a message, is like, I will give you $150,000 like cash right now if you just take it off eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, cool, sold. So he buys house, puts about $250,000 back in it to because it had just gone. It had metal siding on it, like it didn't look anything like the house in the movie. So there's this whole story around it, and it was really cool. The guide, gives you the whole story and like all these fun facts about the movie, which I can tell us about sometime. But I don't want to take up Cedric's time because we have a special guest here
today,
on
it's
the
not
program today.
Just me.
No, people are probably tired of seeing you.
I'm tired of seeing me.
Just kidding. So what all did you guys get into while I was
We got
gone?
into a lot of trouble while you're here. No, we had John Boy in one day.
Yeah.
Josh Willett came in a couple times into the show. Yesterday we had Cornbread and Deadpan Brittany. Good time.
Deadpan?
Deadpan Brittany.
What's that mean?
Like deadpan comedy, like dry.
She is definitely that.
Yeah.
I laughed
Love
so hard
her.
though.
So I just happened to be flipping, like I was on Facebook as we were driving yesterday, and so I thought, well, I'm going to see who was on the show today, and I clicked on it, and Brittany she popped up and said something like totally dry, and I'm like dying laughing because she's so funny. And,
she's very funny.
Yeah.
So Brittany showed me, she's like, want to see my Snapchat from last night? And I'm like, sure, Brittany. And it's like a video of her walking down the street, pitch black, to get her mail last night at like after dark. And she's like, oh, it's so dark and creepy. And whoa! And she freaking hit a patch of ice and just busted her ass.
That's awesome. I mean, it's not awesome, but that's pretty funny.
She's like, I legit think this is the funniest thing I've ever done.
Dude, I'm going to tell you what, like, especially up in Cleveland, we got that, it started raining and didn't think anything about it. And we had to go to we were forced to go to all these different breweries. And like, we had meetings at different breweries. It was really horrible. We were forced to drink and eat. But you'd look outside and you'd be like, oh, it's raining. And then you would step outside and it was nothing but a sheet of ice.
Yeah, I bet.
It
I
was-
bet.
So I feel like Jamie and I spent the entire 3 days walking
Walking
walk
like a
duck,
penguin?
walking
Yeah.
So but yeah, Cleveland weather is legit completely off the
Yeah.
chain compared to what we deal with here, because we have the wind, and then everything that came down froze, and it was a nightmare. So yeah,
Well, so
I can't imagine living there.
So you did miss a lot of excitement while you were gone
It
here
sounds
too.
like it.
The probably the biggest thing that we got to do while you were gone was we got to hang out with the Cincinnati Reds, not once, not twice, but 3 times.
I mean, well, I leave town and cool people come to town. That's
so,
not.
and by the
not
way,
fair.
I've got a Marty Brenneman story to tell you off the air. So just remember that. It's good.
I can imagine.
I've been dying to tell you this for a week now.
Now, do you believe me when I say things?
Yeah. Oh yeah. let's just say he confirmed your stories.
Yes.
Well,
I'm glad someone did, because James didn't believe me.
No, I believed you, but I've heard it from the horse's mouth now. But so it all kicked off. But 2 Mondays ago, a big group of us went up to Cincinnati for the Reds affiliate luncheon. What that is anybody that works for a Reds affiliate radio station, which we are here at WYPC, and we're now affiliated with WTH in Athens.
Yeah.
We're both radio affiliates. So about 8 of us from Jackson drove up there. And when we got up there, we get to go through the VIP entrance, where the players park and everything, under the stadium.
Somebody?
Yeah, and you go in and you walk right into this big suite, and it's this whole big VIP treatment. And as soon as we get there, this guy walks up to us and introduces himself, and I didn't know who he was. I wasn't expecting to meet anybody else there, but I left that day thinking, Jesus, this kid is going to be the next. He's this kid's going to be. Yeah, this kid's going to be on ESPN or NBC or CBS or whatever. I mean, do not be surprised if in 10 years you see this guy on a national TV broadcast doing sports or news or something, because he's super passionate. He's got a great attitude about it, and he's working really hard at it.
Yes.
And so the man we're going to introduce you to, his name is Sedric Granger. He is an Ohio University student. You're a junior, right? Yeah. And so he's been working for WATH in Athens, broadcasting high school sports. And he's also worked with the Southern Ohio Copperheads and some of the other, Ohio
He's
University.
everywhere.
Yeah, you've worked for OU, covering OU sports. So, this kid, he's a broadcasting student, and I think he's going places. And I said, well, you've got to come down to Jackson sometime.
This is only so when you hit it famous,
That
we can
you
say
remember
we knew
we
you
said
when,
nice
and you
things
remember,
about you.
Yeah, that we had you
Yeah.
here first.
And we got
There
it on
you
video.
go.
There's evidence. And so I thought we would. So he's at OU getting this great education, all this great experience. So I thought we would invite him down here and give him some bad experience and some bad.
Show him how the other half lives.
Show him how the other half lives.
Show him how to not do it.
Show you how to not. Exactly. So I'm going to give up my seat
Oh, this is
because
gonna be so
I'm tired
fun.
of talking on this show.
I guess I'm not taking offense to that, because I feel like it's the show and not me that you're tired of talking to me.
But I would like to introduce Sedric Granger.
Yay, Cedric! Come on over. He is precious. Hey.
Hello, what's going on? What's going on? Thanks for that very warm welcome. And you know what? This is going on the top of my resume, Jen. This is a heck of an experience.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun. Well, you were just on the radio over on WKOV, so that was fun. You got to hear about the butthole talk.
Yep, that was quite entertaining. Your first impression, you as a junior in college, you're going up to the Jackson station, you got your Sunday's vest on, and you're like, okay, here we go.
He's ironed his shirt
Real
and everything.
radio station up there. Oh my gosh, this is so huge, because ours is a smaller building. So it's oh my gosh, this is the big leagues. We got a full converted Walmart here. And you're just oh, this is the conversation?
Yes.
This is hilarious. I love the vibes. I already love the vibes. So I'm just you just feel comfortable immediately, because it's just everybody can be themselves on the air. And that's the power with radio as well too, when people can really feel like they can be themselves on the air.
Yeah.
That's when you got some great stuff. And getting to hear of course Mad, Porter, everybody like that, just great broadcasting.
That's awesome. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself, because you go to OU, but you said that you're actually from Columbus. So tell us what how you grew up and all that.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio, northeast corner of it in New Albany. And I ended up attending St. Charles Preparatory School. So that was a
cool.
very fun experience. All boys Catholic school. There was definitely some challenges. Of course, we all had to take Latin. So we were in a class, 80 people, about 2 or 3 classrooms that you think without the walls combined. So
Oh
it's
my,
like
taking Latin.
yeah, it's like a lecture hall,
Yeah,
hall for 2
yeah.
years. But it was a good experience to build a lot of character, and I really enjoyed my time there. Also had some really great parents.
Did you learn how to cuss in Latin?
There may have been some dirty sentences. I'm not gonna lie.
We'll talk about that off the air.
Yeah, that's
okay.
a little off the record stuff for you, Jen. But yeah, it was a great experience being able to grow up. Of course, grew up in church as well too. My dad's a deacon. My stepmom is a minister. Shout out to Sedric Granger Sr. and Sedric Granger. Also, my sister Olivia Granger, who was one of my best friends growing up.
So good.
We used to love watching the Game Show Network. We have all types of like inside jokes with each other from our favorite TV shows. So I grew up in a very loving family. Also, I have to mention my mom, who unfortunately passed away right before my freshman year, Colette Granger, as she had a really big influence on my life. And she really gives me that like energy. Her energy and charisma was something that really stood out while she was a teacher. And then of course, while she would tutor and whenever she would like speak in church as like a Sunday school teacher, or whether it was in big church, I was so influenced by her spirit and her energy. And I feel like it still lives through me whenever I'm on the air or whenever I'm broadcasting or speaking to anybody.
It does. You're right. You're right. That's awesome.
Yeah, it certainly is. And being able to go to St. Charles and also have a church like New Salem Missionary Baptist Church, they gave me a lot of opportunities to speak and be able to get in front of audiences, whether that was doing a prayer or whether that was being able to call the grade school football games that were going on at the high school, which was pretty exciting because I'm like,
how cute.
You got 16-year-old Sedric up here being like, oh my gosh, I can press this button and I get to broadcast out to the world. And it was all these parents and it got really intense. The grade school games, I tell you.
The parents are rough.
They are. Like, my goodness, when one team was losing 38-0, the parents from the losing team came up to me saying I was broadcasting biased. And it's just like, there's only so much you can do.
I know.
There's only so much you can do when one team is scoring all the touchdowns.
Tell your kid to score then. I don't know what to tell you. No, parents are, woof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It definitely is. But it does, like, it just showcases the passion and everything like that, too. And, it's kind of entertaining to watch sometimes. You know?
Yeah, it would be. Well, and I think some of the things that you mentioned, I think are so very crucial for for a child, that you had the opportunity. I grew up, so my dad owned these radio stations before the Stockmeister family did. So I think I've been here the longest of anybody, but I grew up in that and had the opportunity to, well, I don't know if opportunity is the right word. It was more like, here's a microphone, Jennifer, go out to the whatever festival and start talking to people, like interview people. But you had that opportunity growing up to like get out and do the public speaking thing and all that. And that is, it's game changing for a child when you grow up comfortable with that. And then that's probably definitely been influential in like how you are the way you are today.
Yeah, it certainly has. I've seen those as like opportunities for the seeds to be planted, where one of the things that is a big fear for a lot of people in the world is like public speaking.
Sure, absolutely.
And whenever you're in front of a camera or in front of an audience, it can be very difficult to really not have those nervous butterflies going and that nervous energy going whenever you take stage. But
and it becomes all about
opportunities,
that, and not about what you want to say or whatever. Sometimes it just like overcomes you.
Yeah, exactly, Jen, where you're spending a lot of your energy instead of focusing on what you want to say or what information you want to convey.
Yeah.
You're really thinking like, okay, how do I manage my nerves? How do I calm myself? And I feel like having all those opportunities allowed me to be like, all right, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to be the first person to put my hand up at the Reds Affiliate Day. And
which you did, by the way. They were telling us. That's so cool.
Yeah, it was so exciting just to be able to be there where you get to hear the radio broadcasters that you like listen to every single day when you're at the station it was just awesome. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's Tommy Thrall right there in front of you, Jeff the Cowboy Brantley right there in front of you. And you're like, yeah, you got to ask a question. Not to mention all the players that were there. Of course, you had the manager David Bell there too. And these are people you've watched on TV, you hear interviews from on TV.
You're like, wait,
and
they're real people.
They're real people.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
not a myth. It's not a myth.
Like they're not computer generated. They actually exist. Like, I don't know. It's so funny when you see like the players on TV and then go to a game or whatever. You're broadcasting a game. It's so different that they actually do exist in real life and they get up like we do every morning and, you know, whatever, because you put them up on this like crazy pedestal situation.
Yeah, you sure do. I mean, at my high school that I cover, Athens High School, I mean, Joe Burrow is not really any bigger figure pretty much in the state of Ohio than Joe Burrow. And you could see that his stadium's named after him already, just a couple of years now being in the league. And then there's a whole display in the high school right in front of the gymnasium that has all of his like jerseys from his LSU one, his Athens one, his Bengals one,
cool.
a Bengals-Rams Super Bowl football is in there too. So it's just like, they feel like larger than life characters, but hopefully just keep working hard and then I'll be able to be calling NFL games one day. That'd be a goal in the future.
I have no doubt that you probably will be doing that. And then you can come back and say that you knew us. We can say we knew you when.
Mm-hmm. And we got video evidence because in journalism school, we always learn about evidence and just being able to verify things. And we got video evidence.
We do. Here he is. So how did you end up going to OU?
Yeah, so OU, this was one of my 5 school choices that I was thinking about. This was my only one, Jen, that was in state because a lot of the other schools that I was thinking about were like, hey, I kind of want to leave the state, maybe explore somewhere else.
Get out and about.
So other schools that I applied to Notre Dame, I applied to Syracuse as well as Elon, and then Wake Forest was one of my top schools as well because there is a big broadcast hub in Winston-Salem with Learfield IMG, which is one of the main broadcast partners for a lot of different schools. So I was like, hey, maybe go there and could start working in those opportunities. But overall, Ohio University, as soon as I stepped foot onto campus, I worked with the Diversity Visit Day program, which was wonderful to be able to be there and just experience OU from that angle. And then my second visit was more of like a broadcast focused one where I got to see the WOUB's Hardwood Heroes, which is the basketball show that is done on campus. And when I saw there were students that were maybe 1 or 2 years older than me getting a chance to broadcast live on TV locally, such a big opportunity that I was like, yes, OU, it is home. Not to mention just the culture of the school, Jen. Yeah. It's just such a great culture. You feel like it's just home no matter where you're at. Everybody's so kind and so nice. And it really feels like a family because sometimes with some schools you can have this like elitism complex that is there.
Agreed.
And it's something that could definitely be a turnoff when looking at schools. But OU, they did not have that. And I'm really appreciative of that opportunity to be able to go to Athens. It's in state as well, too. So it's nice to be able to just go back an hour and I'm back home in Columbus.
Yeah.
Also can go around all these like nice small towns around here. I can go and visit different areas like Red River Gorge down in Kentucky is not too far away. There's just like fun places all around within driving distance that I really enjoy with being in Athens. There's also Jackson not too far away, huh?
Yep. That's right. And, you are correct on that. And Athens, Athens is the college. The population of Athens is not such a big, number of people when college is in session, obviously. How many students does OU have?
Yeah, we're just like under 20,000 I think total. Yeah.
So, when you have 20,000 people all of a sudden come into your town, it makes quite a big difference. But it's just neat because Athens is its kind of own thing, and then you have all these outlying communities, as you said, and they're all so different, and that's what makes it so fun. And then of course the beauty of our area is great with Hocking Hills and Nelsonville and all of the things around. So yeah, I could see where a person from Columbus would be like, hey, this is pretty cool coming down to Appalach.
Yeah, of course, just driving through it too. It's one of the most beautiful drives, no matter which time you go, especially if it's like around sunset or sunrise, Jen. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Beautiful drive. Also, people who put up their Christmas lights and you can see that like through the hills as they're starting to form once you get past like Lancaster and that sort of area. Oh my goodness, just absolutely love that drive. And even just the drive this morning too, from Athens to Jackson, down 32 west. My goodness. Just
Super
a great
easy drive. Some would say boring, but like, you know, you get it in the fall or whatever. Hey, about halfway down, there's a bald eagle that lives. So you may see him. And he tends to stay in the middle of the 4 lanes, and then he'll swoop up. So yeah, I've
Right.
seen him numerous times. He's pretty cool.
Oh, that means it looks like I got to keep coming back
That's
until I
right.
see that, you
until
know?
you see that eagle. And it's funny because I didn't know if he was still around, and one of my friends posted the other day that he had swooped over their heads. So I was like, cool, he's still there. Or she. I don't know. But anyway, we digress. So, all right. So you have been actually, so you got to OU, and so you have what? Another year left.
Yep, year and some change.
Yeah, year and some change. So what's the future hold for you? What are you going to get into in the next year and change at OU? And then I know we'll talk about what you hope to do.
Yeah, so at OU, we'll be working with our next level of sports. So we'll be doing spring sports coming up. So baseball and softball are our primaries for that season. And this year, we're working to try to get it on ESPN3 for the very first time in school history. So that would be a very big move. But it would be great to be able to have opportunities not only to broadcast, which is what they try to give a lot of students, those opportunities to do so, to develop a lot of broadcasters.
That's awesome.
It is. I really love what they're doing with JP and Jordan Bowes. What they're doing down there is fantastic for the students. And then also the production side, that is something that's very important as well for a broadcaster to be able to know is how to run a camera, how to be able to run replay, how to do audio, how to do all those sort of things. So having those opportunities, I mean, it's just invaluable. This is the things that make you very employable to a lot of different companies and organizations. And we're getting that experience at Ohio University, which is just phenomenal.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, that's just unbelievable. And, you know, hands-on is the way to learn, right? Right. So, as I said, I always laugh about this. I used to get so mad at my dad because he'd have somebody call off or whatever. He'd be like, hey, go up and grab a microphone and go out to the Wild Turkey Festival and interview people. And I'd be like, I don't. He's like, well, you're just going to have to do it. So just go learn. And that's the way you learn. You know, you learn by doing. Yeah, and you guys have that opportunity, which is fantastic.
It sure is. And they're very patient with us, too, because sometimes we won't have the best productions every now and again because I'll make a mistake or some other people make some mistakes. But they understand that we're all learning, and that's what's so great. It's a great environment to do it. And, yeah, that's something that we will definitely be working on coming up this spring. Also, I'll get to finish off this basketball season with Athens High School and then go into their baseball season as well, which should be exciting. And we also hope to pick up some softball games well, too, on the radio. So it'll be awesome to see what Athens got cooking in terms of baseball and softball. Basketball season, they're doing okay in the conference as well this year. And I'm excited to see how that ends. I'll be calling their next game on Friday against Nelsonville, York. So that's a bit of a rivalry up there in Athens County. So it is definitely one to watch. But yeah, that is me. So that is me at the Ohio Bobcats football game. So I do their on-field announcing for Ohio University marketing. So whenever they do those like fun games in the middle of those like commercials and everything, I was the one helping to run that. But I really appreciate Jacob Rockoff. He gave me that opportunity this past fall. And for now, every football game for the rest of my college career, I'll be out there getting to do the announcing, getting to work with fans and everything too. Cool. It's phenomenal. I love it. And getting to work with Rufus, of course, getting to do dance cam and all the fun stuff.
Look how cute you are.
Hey, thank you. I think the best moment from that, Jen, too, was when we did the gritty cam. So we had all these kids from Alexander elementary and middle school during their school district. They came down and they were like, all right, we're going to do a gritty cam sponsored by Ohio Health. And they had all the kids, like we all started like hitting the gritty, like Jamar Chase on the Cincinnati Bengals. And it was definitely a fun thing to watch and got a lot of people like excited. And it helped too. The football team for OU had a great season. They didn't lose once at home. Yeah. The whole season, they were phenomenal. And to be able to continue that crowd hype, get the energy going. It was just great to be a part of such a fantastic season for the Cats where they won 10 games. I mean, 10-3 is a great year.
Yes, it is.
Great bowl win as well at the end of it.
That's kind of not a lot of bowl wins out there, are there?
No, not a ton. Yeah, you're only talking maybe 20, 25 different winners for that. And of course, you have to qualify to even get to that place.
Yeah.
And you get now a free vacation for all the players, which a lot of these athletes I work with as an RA. I'm an RA at James Hall, which is one of our athletic buildings.
You're that guy.
I wouldn't say that guy.
No,
I'm more on the
I'm
chill
just
side.
kidding. Yeah. So there's RAs and then there's like RAs.
You know how it is. You know how it
Yeah.
is.
There's that guy and then that guy. Cool.
Or
But,
just the guy,
the
you know?
guy. Yeah, I get it. Well, that's a whole other story we can talk about off the air, but
That's right.
no, that's so cool. So when you're talking about ESPN, ESPN3 plus, all of those, would that be actually, on air like a TV broadcast, right? So not necessarily just radio, but TV as well.
Yeah, so that would be
That's
TV.
exciting.
Yeah, it's like you get the bright cameras, you're in the Convocation Center at Ohio University, and when you first step foot on the campus, it just feels so big. You're like, my goodness, Convocation Center. You still know this is Division I basketball, this is Division I volleyball, Division I wrestling, and it's all really surreal. I remember my first time doing it was for volleyball during my sophomore year. So I played 2 sports in high school. I was a football player in the fall, and then I was a volleyball player in the spring. So I had a lot of knowledge about the game of volleyball coming in.
Okay.
So I was asked to do color commentating for volleyball throughout my sophomore season sophomore year, I should say, for a couple of games working with Claire Geary. And it was awesome to just be able to be there. But like the first time you're there, you're like, oh my goodness. Oh my, like I was so amped. I think I almost like yelled and probably broke the soundboard or something like that because I was just so amped to be able to be on there. Like I was like, yeah, it's the Bobcats and it's the Eastern Michigan Eagles. They both have the Convocation Center as their stadium name. And I was just like, it ended up getting on TikTok where there was like a Toledo volleyball player who like watched the video and they're like, who is this broadcaster?
He's so excited.
But it was just really cool having that. Now, my junior year, I've gotten to grow a lot more comfortable with all of the things, whether it was like a producer talking in your ear or whether it's just all the moving parts that are going on. Because with radio, it's kind of nice because you kind of run your own roadmap. It's basically, there's no video that you need to correlate what you're saying to.
Yes.
So it is more about like, hey, where direction do you want to steer the ship? In terms of ESPN, there's a producer that you're working with in order to come up with a plan for how you're going to get from point A to point B. So as a result, it's a little bit of a different skill set where you're like, okay, they're going to have this on video. We have coach coming up or we have replay coming up.
Yes.
That means you need to kind of tailor your words to what's going to be on video. Kind of similar to like what we're doing here when the picture of on the Ohio's Bobcats field, Frank Solich field, when that came up, we're like, oh yeah, that's a conversation we can have on that sort of aspect. So it's kind of cool to see how that kind of syncs up. It all like works together. So many moving parts, but it's great to be a part of a cog in this machine.
Yeah, and and that's a whole other animal. The adding the video part.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. But I still think you're going to be doing all that someday.
Hey, I really appreciate it. And I feel really confident about it, Jen. I've been given really great, just a great foundation to be able to build off of from middle school and high school and what I've gotten to learn back then, as well as just high school and college and being able to learn a lot at Ohio University. And I have a lot of respect for what they've been able to do, especially throughout COVID, because coming in, I was a class of 2020.
Oh, no.
Tough year to graduate.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff was like online. So my graduation was on YouTube. And then freshman year of college, that also was at home because of just how COVID affected.
Yeah, you guys got gypped. Yeah, that's not cool.
That's a very rough time to have it. So it's made our class pretty tough, though, and it's given us opportunities. We're like, hey, we're going to look for opportunities in other areas and not just only be like, okay, college, it's great, but if we're off campus, how are we going to find ways to be able to broadcast or speak and find different ways? So I would broadcast on Snapchat, Jen. I would go on Snapchat and would it'd be the Ohio State game or whatever game was on TV. I would take my phone out, have it on Snapchat, would broadcast the game with it, and people could interact with the story and everything.
That's awesome.
Like that. And it was a great way to just stay engaged with what you want to do, Jen.
Well, and not only that, but just stay engaged with people, which was so tough at that time as well. So knowing that there was somebody out there and you were actually reaching them would be great.
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head right there, Jen, because yeah, it was tough to like talk to people, whether it was like dating experiences or whether that was just even friendship experience. I only had like one friend in town, so I was glad me and my really good friend Anthony, one of my best friends in the world, we just hung out a ton. I also hung out with my other best friends, Gabe. We go down to his campus to try to get a little college experience, which would be a little trippy because some of the students down there at his school would be like, "Oh yeah, I partied at OU last week," and I'm like, I'm not even on campus yet. How'd you get there? How'd you get there? But
hey, it's OU. There's always a party.
There always is. But each of those guys, it was great being able to hang out with them. But on the other side of things, it was just tough because I wanted to meet a lot of new people as well at the school.
Yeah. No, and that's like part of the college experience. People ask me about, college, and I was like, well, it's 50% school and 50% like finding yourself, learning about responsibilities and all of this stuff as well. And when you don't have that half of it, it takes away from your experience.
Yeah, it certainly does. It's like a half a year that we're never going to be able to get back. Yeah. Even our first semester back during the spring semester in 2020, 2021, that transition, it still is one where we had a very small portion of campus there, mostly only freshmen and sophomores that were there as well too on campus, where the first half was mostly like juniors and seniors. So it was something where you didn't get that full grasp of what college is like in full, but you did get like a little bit of that experience. It almost felt like glorified summer camp in a way those first couple of days, because everybody had to get in so early because they had to space out, move in, because of just all the people that were like, okay, we don't want to have too many people coming in due to COVID. So you are all going to move in like 2 weeks early. You were going to move in a week and a half early. So the first like week and a half, 2 weeks, we didn't have any classes. And it was just great just to like go and interact with people. So Washington Hall at OU, such a fun hall to be at during my freshman year, and had a great culture. And me and some of my friends from that area and from the building, we went and like knocked on every person's door in the dorm to get to know each other, to create like a big network. Just because we're like, oh my gosh, we're all so starved for just interaction with people just our age.
Yeah.
And then it would be great too, because then some of my friends from back home would be able to visit on occasion as well. So my friend Anthony would be able to come down, Gabe would be able to come down, and it would just be great so that everybody could like be able to see campus. And then sports slowly started coming back as well. And that season was spring. We had so many sports available. So that's how we got started with play-by-play, where me and my friend Carl I work with at 970 WATH, we got our first opportunity to call it field hockey. We didn't know anything about it throughout those first couple of games. It was rough a little bit, but we got a lot better.
They took the sticky thing and they hit the ball. And
yeah, it also didn't help that COVID brought the team down to have to play a player down, so that even added more to the strangeness of that season. But it was great. It was cool to like have that experience of learning a new sport, because that's something I value a lot now, Jen, where I'm still using that skill where it's like, hey, Sedric, can you call wrestling this week? And I'm like, I've never watched it before. I haven't watched it on ESPN, I should say, or on a big time broadcast. But yes, let me take the time to learn. Let me talk to former wrestlers to learn about the sport. And that was great to be able to have that skill. And it all started from freshman year, not being afraid to let's go learn about field hockey. And now I broadcasted field hockey for every year that I'm here that I've been at Ohio University, Jen. So
that's awesome. Yeah. And just as long as you're willing to take the time to learn, right?
Amen to that.
So let's talk about your future. I'm just wondering, I was in college, shall we say, I like to say just a few years ago.
Just yesterday,
Yeah, it was a few years ago. And I know, what my experience was like in graduating and then going out into the workforce, which, you have these like visions of, oh, there's going to be somebody there when you get your diploma to help guide you into the future. And basically they're like, here's your diploma, get out, we're ready for the next people, whatever. And you're like, now what? So what is it like now? Is it similar to that, when you graduate, or you kind of on your own to find your way, or, do you have a plan?
Yeah, so there are definitely, that's one of the things that's really up in the air for a lot of college students in this generation, just because the job market is very difficult nowadays as well, especially after COVID kind of hurt the economy the way that it did. It's very tricky to be able to find like, hey, I want to go find a job immediately in broadcasting or immediately in play-by-play. But you just have to be like really aware of what the field is like, where I know broadcasting is something where it takes years to be able to build yourself up to get to a place like the Reds or get to a place like an NFL team or to CBS or NBC or ESPN, and having those opportunities. But I think one thing that's really helped is getting all this experience, Jen, and I think this will allow me to
For
be able
sure.
to leverage that for some other opportunities. So they may not be the biggest opportunities out the gate, but just being able to take advantage of what opportunities are given, that could be the way that I would definitely go. So I would love to either spend a couple extra semesters working with one of the stations around either Athens or Jackson, kind of staying within this to just continue getting more and more experience. But also some other routes as well as minor league baseball. So minor league, there are a lot of opportunities there, especially if they do expand Major League Baseball, which I'm actually kind of hoping for a little bit because that creates new jobs, that creates more
Yes.
minor league affiliates that are available too, and they'll need broadcasters. So that's something that I would also like to work for. Also, there are graduate school programs. That's an opportunity that I wasn't thinking too much about until I attended Reds Affiliate Day and started discussing like with some other people that were there about some possible good schools. And people were talking about how IUPUI has a really good program. Also Syracuse, of course, with a really great graduate school program. So there are a couple of different routes. And in order to kind of navigate all these different paths, I have a lot of mentors that I really depend upon. So I talk to guys from ESPN like Mike Cousins. John Kosis is also a minor league broadcaster that he can tell me about that experience. Also the encouragement from my girlfriend, Emer Goss. She really helps me a lot in just being able to like go and how to navigate these different things and just encouraging me for whatever path I take. So it can be very difficult, but I feel very confident that there will be opportunities available. I just have to be a little bit patient sometimes and just be willing to work a lot of different things. Because some people are like, oh, high school, it's not like college or it's not like professional league. It's all different. But all of it is so valuable. There's
Sure it
communities
is.
that you get to interact with. And getting to read about what Marty Brenneman and Joe Nuxall and their impact on like the Cincinnati community, or specifically Joe with like the Hamilton County community and that whole area. Being a broadcaster, it's just bigger than just being able to announce all the games. You're really a member of the community. You're a conduit
You
for
are.
that. And having that opportunity to be that for no matter how small or how large the community, it's something that just makes you smile ear to ear, you know, Jen?
Yeah, I think so. And you're exactly right. You know, it is bigger than getting on in front of a microphone and blabbing for, you know, a few hours or whatever. Like you have to be part of the community. And, you know, people, you know, you get on the TV and you turn on the Today Show in the morning and you feel like you know those folks, right? Because you
Right,
spend your
right.
morning with them or whatever. And it's the same, whether it be radio or TV or whatever. So yeah, absolutely. And it's a responsibility that you have as a broadcaster too, to, you know, to represent and to support the community.
Yeah, it certainly is. And it's been great to have that opportunity to do that within the Athens community, being able to broadcast for the Southern Ohio Copperheads last summer. And then
That's
also with
fun.
Athens High School. I love the Copperheads. They run
Yeah.
a great organization over there, not only just because of good baseball and keeping the price at a great family rate where $5 to be able to get in, and they are not raising that price ever.
That's
As long as Bill
awesome.
LaRue and Annie Valent are in charge, which is just phenomenal being able to have that access. And last year, they also had a rule now where if a kid is wearing either a Joe Burrow jersey, a Little League jersey, or just comes in with any Copperhead swag, they get in for free as well to the Copperheads game. So
Really?
just talk about fun where you could be able to bring your whole family, say you're a family of 5. It's only $10 for the 2 parents to be able to
Yeah.
go enjoy some baseball during the summer. And it was just so awesome being able to be a part of that atmosphere at Bobberin Stadium where you had all the kids sitting on the Copperheads dugout where the players were like superheroes to them, but they would always love to like interact with
So
them and
cute.
be like, hey, yeah, I'm going to get a home run for you right now or something like that. Or
Oh, love that.
when one kid asked the coach, what's your favorite Gatorade flavor? And went and got the coach his favorite orange Gatorade, which was just, oh my God, that's so special to like hear little stories and little tidbits
Aw.
like that. As there was just a true connection between the Copperheads community and the players and the broadcasters and all the people working for it, and also just the fun games. It has like that minor league style vibe where you had the Orange Crush race, where you had a person in an orange bodysuit racing kids along the back wall and the warning track, and it would just be hilarious to see that. Whether it was us one time disguising one of our running backs from the Ohio football team who was working for us, so we let him run it once. I don't think we let him run it again because
we need to protect you.
But also we've had other runners and everything, and it would always be like a point of emphasis: hey, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win the Orange Crush, or are the kids gonna get it this time? And when the kids won, it would always be super exciting, and it was just one heck of a vibe. I loved working for the Copperheads, and if you got an opportunity to do so, definitely come to a Copperheads game, not very far away from all of you in Jackson and the surrounding area. So they're just a very fun team, very fun place to work for.
And baseball is just a blast to go to. Baseball is one of my husband played college baseball, but I don't necessarily want to sit down and watch a game on television. But there is a whole other feeling of being there in the stadium and just being at the game. And it is so fun, and just eating hot dogs and whatever. It's a good time. It's just chill. You can sit, put your feet up, and just have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's that perfect time in the evening where it starts to get like a little bit cool and everything. So it's nice. Plus, we had a signature hot dog too, the Copperhead Crunch Dog.
What?
Speaking of baseball, one of our own might be playing some pro ball this year.
What?
Did you know that JJ tried out for the Reds?
Did hear about that. I know they had some opportunities to go down and take some BP.
So we all took BP the other day, but JJ, he was really pushing for a invitation to spring training.
Do you think he's going to get it?
Well, we got some tape. We showed this yesterday, but Jen, you probably haven't seen this, and I doubt Cedric hasn't seen it.
I can't
so
even imagine.
let's check out JJ's Reds audition tape.
Has there been any discussions, because I made quite the scene in the hitting cage? I mean, I was really putting the bat on the ball. A lot of talk. Any chance I'm going to get signed to maybe like a spring training deal?
I doubt it. Nick's up there. Go ahead. Have a talk. See if you got some video, and then let's see what happens. You never know.
Ever hit one?
I know he bunted one. He got one. He got one at least. See.
I don't think you should hold his breath.
Hey, at least there was no scoreboard. There was no count. The only thing that really can convict him is that video. Fortunately, there is that video.
We talked about, yes. Darn it, that video. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
It is. It's a double-edged sword sometimes, too. It's kind of what social media is in this world, too. It's so important for a brand to be able to keep things up. And Dylan, I heard you convinced them to start a TikTok here, which is pretty impressive on your part.
I did convince them, and it's fun because I just take videos like this, and I do the aspect ratio, and I can capture you on one side, 3 seconds you, 3 seconds Jen, cut back and forth, and it looks really cool.
See, look at that. And
isn't
just in
he so
high
cute?
school too already as well. Hey, you got to think about Ohio University.
I am. I'm going to OUC next year.
Yes, sir. Love to hear it. Love to hear it.
Yeah. And he evidently, did you do a TikTok really about buttholes?
Yes, I did.
Well, it's not okay. It was about a discussion about that happened on the
a scholarly discussion about it. Yes.
So Cedric, I was actually curious if you might know anything about this. There's an OU film competition coming up, and me and my friends are entering in that. Are you involved in that?
I am not, but I do know some people that do different films. So one of my friends, Turner, he actually did a film called Mega Racer, and I acted in it. They needed a broadcasting role for it, for their race. It was all about car racing and everything like that. Really great film, and it was great to be able to be a part of it. So if it is at the Athena where the films are being shown, if that's going on, is that this Saturday, if I remember right?
I think they're doing a meeting this Saturday, and it's a submission, submit your team, who's going to be on it. And then the next week's a meeting, and then you have 2 days to film, and it has to be finished within those 2 days.
Oh gosh!
So that's an expedited process. My goodness!
We're going to stay the night at my friend's house and just work the whole 48 hours.
Yeah, I wonder. So what's your film about then?
We don't have any genres yet, so we can't decide until the 48 hours start. But
they don't. Oh wow, that's rough.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
But our plan right now is to include a dream sequence. Like our friend is having a dream and he's going to be surfing on a giant subway sign because I just happen to have a ginormous subway sign. So we have to include that. I need to make it worth my while.
I mean, when you have a ginormous subway sign, you got to use it, right?
Exactly. And just asking for a friend, where do you acquire a subway sign?
Just they were going to throw it away, and I was like, no, that is too good to throw away. You
he
cannot
happens
throw
to
that
work
away.
there.
Yeah, it's ginormous, so it's probably bigger than that desk.
Oh my goodness! Hey, one of these episodes we could just have a replace the desk subway. If you're listening right now, you want to sponsor a single day, there you go.
Agreed.
Had some subway yesterday too.
We've been trying to sucker Crocs into sending us all free stuff forever. It's never worked. So we should do a TikTok about Crocs and see if they'll send us some.
Yeah, call it a tick croc instead.
Yes,
there you go.
A tick croc.
But one thing I'm curious if you ever tried this. I know you commentate a lot. Have you ever shoutcasted?
I have never shoutcasted yet. That would be something that definitely would love to try someday. And then also, of course, anytime you have that with my volume and with my noise, you better hope you got a good audio board.
We do.
What is shoutcasting?
It's video game commentating.
Yeah, like esports and all that stuff right there.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, if you got a Discord, we could voice call you and you could join us one day.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So Dylan's on the esports team at Jackson, and then he does a lot of stuff for the team as well.
Interesting. What games do you play? I know a lot of people into like Super Smash and love to compete over there.
Super Smash Bros, Overwatch, Valorant, and weirdly enough, chess.com.
Huh? No Rocket League?
No. We do have Minecraft.
Okay. Some good games there too. That's a good group. But yeah, they have a really good esports program at OU as well. And they have different competitions. And then also I have some friends who go to Ohio State who are big into esports, and they do a lot of competitions with Smash. And they were offering me some opportunities to broadcast. But fortunately, I've been out of town, but would love to go do that. It'd be something cool to be able to do. And I get pretty excited whenever you got a Super Smash, because whenever you're there with like cousins or whenever you get to play, it gets crazy. Like you're talking about, there's trash talk, you got shouting back and forth and everything. Yeah. Everybody's got specific characters that they like go into. There's always the one kid that always spams Meta Knight, which may or may not be me sometimes.
The craziest thing about that though is when you're commentating it, and then someone trade stocks, like you both die at the exact same time. The noise in the room, it is awesome.
It is something else. So that's one thing where it's definitely going on.
What are you talking about? Do you know I was the horse queen once?
Hey, we need a translation for that too. Congratulations on that though. That seems pretty cool.
Clear back in 1990. Yeah.
She's like that.
Yeah. That was it. It's all been downhill ever since.
You're on TV right now. You're doing something right.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But no, so Dylan is going to bring in his gaming system sometime because I know nothing about any of it. And so he said he's going to bring in his gaming system. We're going to hook it up and he's going to teach me how to play.
Oh, okay. I got to tune in for that.
I
think it's going to be pretty exciting. You'll have a little tutorial episode. Hey, we could even have like people say like, hey, what game system are you on? And we could have people at home follow along with the tutorial right now. So you could really spread the news about esports everywhere, Dylan. Like you've got a big opportunity on your hands. You got a platform.
I'm actually the executive producer of a media team at our high school that's focused around esports. And we've done our best to spread the word how we can. And what we do, Jen's seen this, we take one of our friends who's a commentator, a shoutcaster, and we have them do something ridiculous to advertise it. The last one we did was he was being chased by a giant banana man.
It was a banana man. Yeah. And then they just started beating him with bananas. And so
then he went Ultra Instinct.
Yeah. And then James, we had the banana costume in here one day and we had no idea what it was because Dylan was taking it to school. And so James puts it on. So there's a whole situation with that too. But anyway.
I know their least favorite Mario Kart item. My goodness.
Yeah.
Banana and Mario Kart.
Anybody know anyone in Mineral Wells, West Virginia?
No, but that's a great city name. My
Isn't
goodness.
it? Mineral Wells, West
Mineral
Virginia.
Wells. I like it.
Sounds really like something. Sounds like very touristy.
Yeah, we go to Mineral
We
Wells.
go to Mineral Wells.
Yeah,
and-
I can see an Airbnb there already
Yes,
now.
Mineral Wells, up on the hill with the snow falling down. Yeah, all of that. So.
Quite quaint.
Well, heck, we have 5 minutes left. What do you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, well, college life I think is always a fun
for
time,
sure.
a fun topic. With
So
a lot
you
of
said you
universities.
just turned 21.
Just turned 21, which is fun. So, and even though there's a lot of work that's going on, it's nice to be able to go out every now and again when I'm not on like RA duty or anything, and go to like Lucky Sports Tavern, which for the national championship, I got to go there with my friends. We all watched the game and everything.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it wasn't very competitive, but yeah. So we started off. It was a challenge where we do like a red theme shot every time Georgia scored, or a purple theme shot every time TCU scored.
That's so OU.
Yeah. So definitely got into some fun over there, but it really got to the point where it was like, yeah, it just was all red. We tried like every red shot they had on the day. Fortunately, they were very cheap there in that day, and it ended up with us all singing the BK theme song, or that commercial that's just everywhere right now. But yeah, it's just a very good time with those every now and again, and even freshman party scene too. When I was a freshman, when everybody was just so desperate to go hang out and everything, it just was fun to be able to have like this interact where everybody would like run dorm parties sometimes, and RAs would be like sometimes really chill about it too, just because they know everybody's just been waiting for this.
I mean, it's just you can't be strict, man. You got to let kids be kids.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, as long as they're doing it safely, so what, right?
And that's what
sort
it's
of
all
safely.
about. Sort of safely, yeah. Sometimes there'll be mistakes made or everything, but all kind of learning processes too. And
But that goes back to the 50% that I talked about. That's how you learn. 50% of finding yourself and whatever, 50% education.
And I
It's
mean,
college.
it's kind of interesting how we only describe like one side of it as being like a formal education, where we're like, oh, the classwork's the education, because that side is just as much of an education
It
as
is.
that. That's just important skills to be able to
50-50.
learn and to be able to like interact and live and everything. And now going into my next job, this is what I'm going to be thinking of. So I'll be working with the Battle Creek Battle Jacks Northwoods League.
Now, what is
coming
that?
up there. So that is another summer baseball league team,
Okay.
very similar to the Copperheads, just in a different league. So this is the most attended league in the United States.
Where are they?
They're up in Michigan, Battle Creek, Michigan.
So will you be spending the summer in Michigan then?
I
or-
will be. And as a Columbus kid from Ohio, or a big Ohio State fan,
Yikes.
I know I'm going to hear it from a lot of the Michigan folk up there, especially because now Ohio State's on a bit of a losing streak against the Wolverines, which I've been so lucky throughout my lifetime to not have to deal with that until now. But now it's in full force. So I'll hear it, but it'll be very fun to be up there, have like a full like new experience in a different state. And I think it's going to be great for my learning. And I love to be able to report back on all those stories once I get back to town the following year for the last ride to senior year, which is just kind of nuts to think about. It's almost at the end.
Can you? It goes so quick.
It sure does.
It
You
does
blink your eyes and it's like, almost done.
Yep.
So for anyone that wants to listen to you call a game, when's the next game you have on WATH?
So that'll come up this Friday. You can start listening on 7:20 p.m. on 970 WATH Athens. It'll be Nelsonville York and Athens High Schools. It'll be a big rivalry game between two teams on the upper half of the TVC Ohio. So that's one definitely don't want to miss. I'll be on the call alongside my friend Darius Sefna, and we'll have all the action there for you from Book Tool.
And so if you live outside of their broadcast area, you can go to yourtotalmedia.com, click on the radio tab, scroll down to WTH, and click on Listen Live. And you can listen anywhere online.
So it's included on our app as well.
So it's not on the app, but the link to the feed is on our website. Right now, WTH has its own app.
Okay.
It's just WATH. Just search that in the App Store. But that may not last much longer.
Okay.
No. You could also use TuneIn as well too. That's like another app opportunity because our app is kind of like down as of recently. So
that's great. So you can get to hear more of Sedric here, and listen to him doing what he loves.
Hey, Jen, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity as well as you, James. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So fun. Come back and see us anytime.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to come back. That drive is so beautiful. It's got to be worth coming back more and more and more.
It is peaceful, right?
It certainly is. It's very quaint, very nice. It has that Mineral Wells type of vibe, you know.
Mineral Wells, West Virginia. I'm hoping they left me a message because I want to be like, call them back and be like, so what's Mineral Wells, West Virginia like? All right. Well, our good friend Sedric, thank you, Grangers. Thank you for stopping by, and come back and see us anytime. It's been a blast talking with you today.
We'll do. Everybody have a great rest of your day.
That's right. And we'll be back here tomorrow with, what are we doing, James? News in the health department. So we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website,
thetelegrammnews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, thetelegrammnews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
thetelegrammnews.com.
Subscribe today at thetelegrammnews.com.
Check it out.